Is it in full screen mode? Yes or no? Is it in PPT mode,
Yes,
slideshow
sir.
mode? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, okay, I will start now. Now, this is unit number 1, that is introduction. And uh, in this unit, you will get the idea of finite element method. What is a finite element method? How it is applied for different disciplines. Okay. What is mathematics behind it? Now, in today's lecture, for today's lecture, I have referred these two books. That is, this is number 1, S.S. Rao, and second one is a finite element analysis by practical finite element analysis by Nitin Gokhale. Okay, I have a soft copy of S.S. Rao that I will share with you. After this lecture, you will be able to compare the numerical analysis, analytical, and experimental methods. Okay, and you can describe the general applicability of the numerical method, because finite element method is the one numerical method. Then you know the finite difference method. You have studied finite difference method in first year, I think. Taylor series, and on the basis of Taylor series, how to write the differential equations, that you have studied in first year. Okay, finite difference method. It is also one numerical method that you have studied. Now I will show you comparison between finite element method and finite difference method. This difference you will not get uh, during this lecture, but you will get when our content will progress. Okay. Now after that, I will discuss the advantages of the finite element method. Also, I will tell you applications. Applications of the finite element method. You have to search. If you write the, if you search the applications of finite element method on Google, then you will get huge number of applications. Out of that, I will discuss some applications. Okay, because finite element method is used in all disciplines. All disciplines means in civil engineering, automobile engineering, mechanical engineering, aeronautical engineering, marine engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, electronics engineering. Every discipline is covered by this finite element method. Finite element method is has huge applications. It is background of all softwares, all analysis softwares, and that softwares are used for different disciplines. Okay. Then this sixth point is very important point, where actual finite element method starts, and we will discuss the steps of the finite element method. Okay, finite element method, and how these steps are applied for solving the, or for analyzing the problems under different disciplines, that we will discuss in the next unit. Therefore, here I will give only statement of the steps, and actual application of these steps we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay. Now this is the content of today's lecture. Okay, I have written this content in the form of questions, so you can get the idea of the questions also. Okay. Now you see this image, and you can read the sentence uh, which is written below this image. Okay. Now see here, uh, here the limitations of human brain is to understand the complete behavior of the complex domain and analyze it in a single stroke. That means we have limitations. We have limitations to understand the complete behavior. Behavior means how that structure, how that complex domain is behaving under the application of external efforts, external force, or external any action. Okay, that means that we cannot predict, we cannot analyze that in a single stroke. Okay, so this analysis, that means this behavior can be achieved, or this analysis can be done by dividing the system, that means by dividing this domain into discrete individual components or elements. That means here, if you have problem to solve the complete or analyze the complete domain in a single stroke, then what we are doing, we are dividing that domain into number of subdomains or elements whose behavior can be readily understood. It is same to the lifting of heavy load. Here, if we want to lift the heavy load, if load is very high, then we cannot lift it in a single stroke. What we are doing, we are dividing that load into number of sub parts, small loads, and then we are lifting that load. It is same to that thing, but here it is done by the mathematics. Okay. Now here, this can be achieved by dividing the system into discrete individual components or elements whose behavior can be readily understood. That means if we consider the small part here, there are small parts. If we consider the small part here, any small triangular part, that behavior of that triangular we can understood. We can analyze the behavior of that small part. Okay. And after getting the behavior of each and every part, we are doing the assembly of behavior of all parts. We are making the assembly of behavior of all parts, that is known as the here elements whose behavior can readily understood, and then rebuilding the original system. That means we are connecting all these behaviors of the all parts, okay, from such a components to analyze the systems. That means after connecting all these parts, we can analyze the system, or after combining the behaviors of all individual parts, we can get the complete analysis or analysis of this complex domain. This is the basic theme, or this is the basic background on which your finite element method relies. Okay. Now here this is a complicated, this statement is also complicated, you will not get the idea of finite element method. Now I will explain by simple examples. Now can anyone tell how to calculate the area of this irregular geometry? Area of this irregular geometry, can anyone tell? ऋषिकेश कुंभार आएगा? Is it ऋषिकेश कुंभार? ऋषिकेश कुंभार नाही काय? ओके. Kunal Patil, can you tell how to find the area of this irregular geometry?
Sir, by integration.
Means we are dividing that into number of parts and then we are integrating it. Okay, that is one thing.
Yes.
That is one thing. Now here this experiment you have done in I think fourth or fifth standard. What you have done? You have used the graph papers. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You have used the graph papers, and on the graph papers you put this geometry on graph papers. We put this geometry, and we are scribing the lines or this image or external edges of this image on the graph, and then we are counting the full rectangles or full squares from half squares. Okay. Now how we can do this, I will show you here. Okay, I will show you. Where is format? I will do it. Background is format of the background. Now here I will do. Now pattern. In the pattern, you see here This type of things we are doing. Am I right? Is it visible, this image?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Now, after that, what we are doing? We are removing that, we are putting the graph paper, or this image we are putting on the graph paper, or this geometry we are putting on the graph paper. Then we are removing that geometry after drawing the external edges of that geometry. Okay. After that, what we are doing? Counting the we are counting the these rectangles, small squares. Okay, there are some small complete squares, there are some half squares that we are counting. Okay, and we know the area of individual square. Am I right? We know the area of individual square. We are multiplying by the number of squares, number of full squares, by area of that full squares. And then what we are doing, then some half squares are there, that also we are counting. Some 1/4 squares are also there, that also we are counting. Okay, and we are assuming the half, 1/4, that is by judgment. Am I right? Do you agree with this? And by addition of areas of all squares, that will give the area of this geometry. Okay, area of this geometry. Now I will ask one question. Here here can we get the exact area of this geometry? Can we get the exact area of this geometry?
No, sir.
No, sir.
We cannot get the exact area of this geometry. Am I right? Do you agree with this? We cannot get the exact area of this geometry. Now, but we are accepting the area. But we are accepting the area. Why we are accepting this? Why we are accepting this? Because we don't have other way. Don't have other way to calculate the area. Do you agree with this? So
Sir, can't hear you.
if we don't have other way to calculate the area, then we are accepting the approximate solution. Then we are accepting the approximate.
हॅलो सर.
Yes.
सर दुसरीकडे कुठेतरी चालू झाले काहीतरी मीटिंग वगैरे, आवाज हे होते.
तुमच्यातलं कोणतरी अनम्यूट करून काहीतरी पाठचे बॅकग्राऊंड आवाज येते.
नाही सर, ती मीटिंग कुठेतरी चालू झाल्या बहुतेक टीम मध्ये.
Now is it okay? Is it okay now?
Yes,
हा
sir.
ओके सर, ओके.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I have asked to calculate the area of this one. See here, we don't have equation for calculation of the area of this one. Okay, so we cannot get the 100% accurate area of this image. Now, when we don't have any way to calculate the area, then we are going to calculate then we are going to find the approximate area. Okay, if 100% solution for the problem is not possible, then we have to go for the approximate solution and acceptable solution. Okay, do you agree with this? This is the basic idea of the finite element method. In finite element method also, we cannot get the 100% accurate result. 100% accurate result, but we can get the acceptable result. Okay, now one thing I want to tell you here, if I reduce the number of squares inside this image, how I can reduce the number of squares? If I use the big squares, then whether accuracy is more or less?
Less, sir.
Yes. If I reduce the size of the squares, then I will get the more accurate. Same thing we will get in the finite element method. Okay. See here, we are using the finite sized elements. Okay. And for improving the accuracy of the results, we are reducing the size of the elements. Now, what are the elements? And what are the or how we can improve the accuracy? Now again, you can see here single single square, it is known as the element. That means there are a lot of elements here, okay, and connecting points of that elements are nodes. Connecting points of that elements are known as the nodes, okay. Now here we are improving the accuracy of the results by increasing the number of squares, number of elements, and we are reducing the size of the elements for improving the accuracy, okay. Now this is the basic idea of the finite element method. I hope you can get when we progress it. Now next one, now these are the some applications. Yes, yes. Yes, okay. Now these are the some applications of the finite element method. Here I have written the applications related to the automobile field only, automobile discipline only. Now there are a lot of applications in other disciplines also. Now here if you observe the component level, here static structural analysis, or it can be steady state analysis, okay. Here for finding the stress, strain or failures of the components, we are using the finite element method, okay. On the basis of finite element method, your analysis softwares are working, okay. That is the background. Finite element method is a background for the analysis softwares, okay. This is a static analysis. Here we can do the dynamic analysis, we can do the thermal analysis of the components. Also we can do the fatigue analysis, that is we can find the fatigue life also by using finite element method, okay. This is very huge list. I have listed some examples, okay. Now these some applications are at component level, some applications are at system level. We can do the analysis of the shock absorbers, okay. Now how shock absorbers are behaving under the dynamic loads, that behavior we can predict with the help of finite element method, okay. See here, this is the complete engine working, okay. This in this also, under dynamic conditions, under working conditions, how your crankshafts, connecting rods, pistons, cylinders are behaving, what are the different stresses are going to develop inside the or on in these components, that also we can predict with the help of finite element method, okay. Next one, this is a multi-body dynamic simulation. We can do the multi-body dynamic simulation. Multi-body dynamic simulation means here this is a system simulation, this is again system simulation, okay. What is the dynamic behavior? See here, this is a frame of your two-wheeler, okay. These are the wheels, and these are the symbols for the wheels, we can say. Here analysis of the suspension system as well as frames, okay. How these are behaving under the dynamic conditions, okay. That we can.
Hello.
Yes.
सर स्क्रीन दिसत नाही मला.
दिसत नाही. What about other students?
हा सर, हा सर आता दिसली.
दिसते का? ठीक आहे.
Okay.
Okay. Now this dynamic behavior we can simulate by using the finite element method. Our finite element method is a basic for simulating this type of things, okay. Now next one. Next, see here in automobile fluid flow has lot of applications. In case of combustion analysis, in case of fuel supply system, or in case of lubrication system, in case of interior flow, in case of external flow, everything can be analyzed by using finite element method. See here, combustion phenomena, it is very critical phenomena. Direct experimentation is also not possible for this phenomena, okay. That can be analyzed by using finite element method. Now here in this case, here internal fluid flow, that is comfort of the passengers, it depends upon the internal fluid flow, that can be predicted, that can be analyzed by using finite element method, okay. Now you see this one, this is the external fluid flow, aerodynamic drags, lifts can be predicted by finite element method, okay. Now this is a crash analysis. It is a bumper crash analysis. Here, how plastic strains are developed, how energy can be absorbed by the components. Okay, absorbed by the components that can be predicted. It is a very big nonlinear analysis. Okay, and huge or costly experimentation is required for predicting this behavior that can be done by finite element method. Okay, now this is also crash analysis of the car. Now this is analysis of the gears, that is harmonic analysis of the gearbox, that can be done by the finite element methods. Okay. Now see here, for this type of analysis, our analysis software is must, and analysis software, for understanding of the analysis software, finite element method is must, that is understanding of finite element method is must. See here, I have listed some applications for your interest. Okay, there are huge number of applications you can check on the Google. Okay, next one, what is finite element method? What is finite element method and how it can be used? See here, finite element method is one numerical method. Finite element method is one numerical method. You have studied lot of numerical methods. Okay, out of that, one is a finite difference method. Same to finite difference method, finite element method is also one numerical method, and this numerical method is used to solve the differential equations over the domain. See here, I will explain why we need to solve the differential equations. Okay, in next some slides. Okay, now there are lot of ways to analyze the systems or solve the differential equations. Okay, differential equation means what? Differential equation is the mathematical model of the system, mathematical model of the components. Okay, mathematical model for the describing the behavior of the problem. Okay, now when we solve the differential equations, then we will get the complete behavior of the problem, complete behavior of the system, complete behavior of the any component. Okay, now finite element method is also doing same thing. It is going to solve the differential equations over the domain. Now see here I have shown one image, that is a piston connecting rod assembly. In this image there is one equation, and that equation is in the form of differential equation. That equation is in the form of differential equation, which describes the behavior, of that assembly, behavior of this assembly. Okay, now when we solve that differential equation for this problem, for this assembly, then we can get the complete idea of this system, how it is going to behaving after the application of the load. It may be thermal load, it may be structural load, or it may be any other type of load. Now see here this assembly, it is known as a complete domain of the problem, and on this domain this differential equation is satisfying at each and every point. Okay, now solution to that differential equation will give the results. Okay, now solving that differential equation over this domain is not possible by mathematics. Okay, by analytical methods. Okay, for that purpose what we are doing, we are dividing that into number of parts, and here this individual part is known as the element, and connecting points are known as the nodes. You have to remember this, what is element and what is node. See here, these elements are of finite size, therefore name of the method is finite element method. Okay, these elements are of finite size. It may be very small size, but that size is finite size. Okay, it has some dimensions, so this method is finite element method. Okay, do you agree with this? Now see here how to solve the differential equations, how it is numerical method, that idea you will get in later slides. Before going to go for the detailed idea of the finite element method, can you tell me what are the different methods to solve the or analyze the any system or any problem in the engineering? What are the different methods for the simulating or analysis of the problems? Can anyone tell?
Numerical method, graphical method,
Yes.
analytical.
Yes. Now we have numerical method, analytical method, and experimental method. Now these are the three methods for analysis of the any behavior of the any component, any system. Okay. Then if these are the methods, then why we have to go for the numerical method? Now why we have to go for the numerical method, that I will explain. Now this will give the comparison between the three methods, that is analytical method, numerical method, and experimental method. Okay. Now I will start from the analytical method. Here analytical method is a classical approach. Analytical method is a classical approach. What is a classical approach? Classical approach means the direct equations which we have derived in the strength of material, heat transfer, fluid mechanics, that we are using for solving the problems. Okay. Analytical methods. Here also in mathematics. Here in mathematics you have solved a lot of differential equations. Now that methods of the integration, direct integration for solving the differential equations, we are using in analytical method. Okay. It is known as a classical approach. Are you getting this? Why it is known as classical approach? Because direct integrations we are calculating, and by calculating the direct integrations we are solving the differential equations. Okay. And again one more thing I want to tell you here, some equations, some direct equations you have in your strength of material, in your heat transfer, in fluid mechanics, or in other problems, that direct equations you are using for getting the behavior of the problem, so it is known as a classical approach. Okay. Have you got the idea of classical approach? It is classical approach because we are using direct available equations. Okay. Now we are using available equations and solving the problems. When we solve the problems by using available equations, you will get the 100% accurate results. Okay. Means analytical method is 100% accurate method. Now, as it is 100% accurate method, we will get the closed form solution. Closed form solution means what? Here, the input given to the system, that means applied load, that is your input given to the system. Applied load, that will be equal to the reaction calculated from the analytical method. There will not be difference between input and output. That means applied heat, that is equal to the your heat going out of the system. Okay. That means applied energy equal to the energy output from the system. That we can achieve through the analytical method. When we get the applied input equal to the output, then it is known as a closed form solution. In analytical method, we can get this closed form solution. Okay. Do you agree with this? Now these are the big advantages of the analytical method. Okay. You will not get these advantages in other methods. Okay. But it has some limitations. Means it has big limitations or so many limitations. What are that limitations? Here, this method is applicable only for simple problems like cantilever, simply supported beams. Here, for predicting the heat transfer through the circular fins. For these type of problems, we can use analytical method. Okay, but our real life problems are not same to these problems. That is, in real life problems we want to find the deformation of the crankshaft. Deformation of the crankshaft. We cannot use the theory of the cantilever. We cannot use the theory of the simply supported beam. Okay, because geometry of the crankshaft very complicated. Okay. Again, one more thing. See here, analytical methods or equations which we have derived in analytical methods, that equations are based on the so many assumptions. So many assumptions. I will tell you one example from the fluid mechanics. See here, all equations, you starting from the Bernoulli's equation, Navier-Stokes equation, Reynolds equation, all these equations are based on some assumptions. Am I right? Now see here, you have derived Bernoulli's equation. Bernoulli's equation you have used for all fluid mechanics. Do you agree with this? Now, Bernoulli's equation, it is derived on the basis of the ideal fluid. That means you have used the concept of ideal fluid for deriving the Bernoulli's equation. In ideal fluid, there is a no viscosity. Okay. But in real life problems, there is no any fluid which has no viscosity or which has zero viscosity. Okay. Do you agree with this? So while using these analytical methods for this type of problems, you will not get the results. Okay, you will not get the results. One more thing, you have calculated the drag force, slip force over the flat plate, but that are simple geometries. If we want to calculate the drag force, slip force over the car or over the aeroplane, that geometries are not simple geometries. That geometries are very complicated. Okay, so for analyzing these problems which I have stated here, analytical methods are not appropriate. Our analytical methods are not appropriate. Okay. So when analytical methods are not appropriate, we have to go for the experimental method. Any doubt in the analytical method? Can you accept these things? Yes or no? Yes? Reply me. Ketan Sanap?
Sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Next one, I will go to the experimental method. Then I will come to the numerical method. Okay. Now, if we go to the experimental method, see here, in experimental method, what we are doing, we are taking actual measurements. That means actual situation. Actual situation can be simulated by this experimental method. Okay, do you agree with this? See here, this is advantage. Actual measurement taken by the experimental method or taken in experimental method, it is advantage, but this is a disadvantage. It is a time consuming and needs expensive setup. So here, if you want to do the crash analysis of the car, okay, and when we go for the designing of the experimental setup for this crash analysis of the car, then we need huge number of sensors, okay, and costly setup we have to develop, okay, and during development of that setup, when some industry is using numerical methods or finite element method, that industry will launch product directly. Am I right? That means here time consuming and needs expensive setup in case of experimental methods. Okay. And one more thing, it is applicable only if physical prototype is available. Okay. If you have physical model, that only we can test. Before the physical model, we cannot go for the testing by experimental method. Okay. That means first we have to develop one product, prototype of the product, then we have to go for the testing. Okay. Without product, we cannot go for the testing. Do you agree with this? This is also a limitation of the experimental method. Now here, in experimental method, we cannot believe the results blindly. we have to test the 3 to 5 prototypes. Okay, then we can believe on the results. It is same to the our corona test. We have to test on so many peoples, then we have to launch that medicine in the market. Same thing we have to do in the experimental method. We have to test so many cars for crash analysis. That means 3 to 5 cars for crash analysis. Okay, and if that results are satisfied, then we have to go for the launching of the cars. Okay, then only we can get the certification of the cars. Then industry can get the certification of the cars. Okay, that is also disadvantage. And all these things requires the time as well as expensive setups. Okay, here cost is very high. Cost for this experimental method is very high. Okay, now these are the strain required things for experimentation: strain gauges, photoelasticity, vibration measurement, sensors for the temperature, pressures, so on, fatigue test. These setups we need. Now, after getting the drawbacks of this or disadvantages of the experimental method and analytical method, what is the way for, or what is the solution for overcoming these drawbacks? Now, to overcome these drawbacks, we have numerical method. In numerical method, we need the mathematical representation of the system. Same thing we need in analytical method also. That means mathematical representation means we need the differential equation of the system of the component. Okay, we need the differential equation of the component. Here, approximate and assumptions are made in numerical method. Okay, approximations and assumptions are made in numerical method. How this statement I can explain? Here I have explained one example for the calculation of the area of the irregular geometry. Okay, here what I have done for calculation of the area, what I have approximated the geometry. Am I right? I have assumed the geometry. Okay, approximated the geometry. That is, I have assumed the geometry. So in actual situation also, what we are doing, we are approximating the domain by using elements and nodes, by using small parts. That means we are replacing that geometry, we are replacing that actual domain by the your elements and or small subdomains. Okay, do you agree with this? That is known as the approximation. So mathematical representation, mathematical model or differential equation over the domain is approximated or assumed over the elements or subdomains. Okay, one big advantage of this method is this one: it is applicable even if physical prototype is not available. That is initial design phase. Why it is called the initial design phase? Sir, initially without prototype we can get the behavior of that system. Okay, we can get the behavior of that system. How we can get the behavior of the system? So here we are developing the model, we are developing the geometry of the model, and we are solving that equation or mathematical model over that geometry, over that domain. Okay, so without prototype also we can predict the results. That results may be approximate results. That results are approximate results, but that results we can make acceptable. Okay, so here we can say applicable even physical prototype is not available. Okay, now here in this method real life complicated problems can be handled. And results can be believed, results cannot be believed blindly. We must verify with the experimental method. Okay, why we have to verify the results with this experimental method or analytical method? Because because this is approximate method. Our solution is acceptable or not acceptable, that can be verified by using these methods. Okay, either analytical method or experimental method. Okay, any doubt here? Yes, if you have doubt, you can ask me. Next one. Here these are the numerical methods: finite element method, boundary element method, finite volume method, finite difference method. Okay. Now this is used for linear, nonlinear, buckling, thermal dynamic analysis. Boundary element method, it is used for acoustic and NVH problems. Finite volume method, it is used for CFD. Now here for each method there is one subject. Our subject is related to the finite element method. Okay. If you are interested in fluid dynamic problems, computational fluid dynamics, then you go for the finite volume method, and finite difference method you have already studied. Okay, already you have studied finite difference method, that I will compare with the finite element method in next coming slides. Okay. Now finite element method is same to the finite difference method. Now there is some difference in finite element method and finite difference method. Okay, what is that difference, that we will discuss. Before going to next, I want to tell you general applicability of the numerical methods. General applicability of the numerical methods. Now here how it is applicable. Now you know this equation. Do you know this equation? Yes. Kunal Patil, do you know this equation? Madhav Toram. Yes. It is a one-dimensional heat transfer equation.
Yes, sir.
It is one-dimensional heat transfer equation. And here K is the conductivity, A is the area, and T is the temperature. Okay. Now here G is the heat source. Okay. C is the specific heat and rho is the density. And it is a transient one-dimensional heat transfer equation. Therefore, there is a change in temperature with respect to time also. Okay. Now see here, when we reduce or remove the heat source, if there is a no heat source in the system, then this equation is reduced to the Fourier equation. That is your transient equation without heat source. One-dimensional transient equation without heat source. Now next one, when we write this equation for steady state condition with heat source, then you will get this equation. Already you have studied these equations. Am I right? This equation, okay, and it is your Poisson's equation. Now, when we remove the heat source and when we write the steady state heat transfer equation, you will get this equation, and this is your Laplace equation, or it is a steady state heat conduction equation for one-dimensional problems. Already you have studied these equations. I want to explain the general applicability of the equation, that is numerical methods for these equations. Okay. Now I can write this equation like this also. You can see here. Okay, K conductivity I can assume the constant, A area I can assume the constant, and when we assume this constant, we can write the second derivative of the temperature with respect to x, and that is equal to 0. Okay, all of these equations you know. Any doubt in these equations? हे equations तुम्हाला माहित आहेत ना? I am not going to derive here, just I want to explain this general applicability. Okay, now this is the equation for the thermal discipline. Now if I go to the next discipline, one-dimensional fluid flow. Now you know the continuity equation. What is continuity equation? Discharge at any location is constant. Am I right? Or mass flow rate is constant. Rho A U is equal to constant. Here rho is the density, A is the area, U is the velocity of the flow, and that is equal to constant. Okay. Now when I differentiate U differentiate u with respect to x, I can get the 0 because this term is constant. Am I right? Next, u is the velocity, and that velocity is the potential function. Or if I consider the phi as a potential function, then derivative of the potential function with respect to x, it is the velocity. This you have studied in the fluid mechanics second year. Okay. Now, if I put this in this equation, I can get this equation, that is d dx of rho a d, here it is d phi by dx equal to 0. d phi by dx equal to 0. I can write this equation as a d2 phi by dx square. Any doubt in this equation, in these two equations? If you have doubt, you can ask me. Ketan Sanam,
Yes, sir.
have you got these equations? These are not new for you.
Yes, sir. We have studied.
Yes. Now, next, if I get
सर
yes,
hello.
yes. हाँ.
सर ते d2 phi by dx square जे phi काय अजून केले phi म्हणजे काय
Phi, it is a velocity potential.
ओके ओके
हाँ. Velocity potential, and u is equal to d phi by dx. It is a velocity potential. It is a one equation in the fluid mechanics. Okay. Now,
सर
हाँ,
सर टेस्ट चालू झाला ना सर?
अरे टेस्ट, आता टेस्ट कव्हर झालं नाही की टेस्टला, काय करायचं? कॅन आय शेड्यूल इन इव्हिनिंग आफ्टर 3 o'clock? Yes? Can I schedule it after 3 o'clock? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will schedule after 3 o'clock. I will send the message.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next, if I go for the solid bar under axial load, then you know this equation: force is equal to area into stress. This is a simple equation. I can replace this stress by E into strain. Okay. Now, here I can replace strain by change in length upon original length, or I can replace this by change in displacement with respect to x. Can I write this A area into modulus of elasticity into strain? Okay. This equal to P, force. Do you agree with this? This I have written in the mathematical form. Strain is your deformation per unit length, and deformation we can write in terms of the change in displacement with respect to length. Okay. Therefore, your force equation becomes AE du by dx. Now, if I assume the force constant load, I can differentiate this equation with respect to x again, and I can equate with the 0. Here, this one, and if I assume A is a constant and modulus of elasticity is material constant, then I can write this equation like this. Okay. Now, if you observe these three equations, this is equation number 1, equation number 2, and equation number 3. All these equations are same equations. Am I right? All these equations are same equations. Do you agree with this? All these equations are Laplace equations. If you develop general code for solving these equations, general program for solving these equations, then with the help of that same program, we can solve problems on 3 disciplines. Means, if I write one program, or if I use one numerical method for this thermal problem, that same program, same numerical method I can use for the fluid problem. Same program, same numerical method I can use for the structural problem. That is known as a general applicability of the numerical method. Okay. Are you getting this? Can you get it? It is a general applicability. See here, if you develop one single program for one discipline, it may be for structural discipline, it may be for one fluid flow discipline, it may be for heat transfer discipline. If you develop same program or one program, that we can use for other disciplines also. Okay. Where is this? म्हणजे इथं तुम्ही हे इक्वेशन सॉल्व्ह करायला एक प्रोग्राम लिहिला, तो प्रोग्राम हे इक्वेशन सॉल्व्ह करायला एक प्रोग्राम लिहिला, तो प्रोग्राम सेम प्रोग्राम तुम्ही ह्या इक्वेशन सॉल्व्ह करायला सुद्धा यूज करू शकता आणि सेम प्रोग्राम तुम्ही हे इक्वेशन सॉल्व्ह करायला सुद्धा यूज करू शकता. समजलं? दॅट इज नोन ॲज अ जनरल ॲप्लिकेबिलिटी ऑफ द न्यूमेरिकल मेथड. Okay, we agree with this. That means numerical methods, we can, with the help of numerical methods, we can solve the problems on different disciplines by using same codes, by using same methods. Okay. Next one. Now here I have already told you finite element method is same to the finite difference method. I will cover this. Sorry, I have to cover it in today's session only. Okay, time is coming to end. What I will do, I will reschedule the test up on Saturday. Okay, because so many contents I have to cover, then I have to cover the test. Now in finite difference method, domain we are going to divide into grid-like structure. Okay, and in finite element method we have to divide the domain into elements, and connecting points are known as the nodes. Here connecting points are known as the grid points. Okay, now I will show you one example here. Here if you have domain like this, okay, in finite difference method, what do you have to do? You have to divide the domain like this. That is a grid-like structure. Means like this. Okay, this is a grid structure. Have you got it? We have to divide the domain in a grid-like structure, and these connecting points are known as the grid points. In finite difference method, these connecting points are known as the grid points. Here, these connecting points are grid points. Okay, these points are grid points. Now in finite element method, what we are doing? We are dividing the domain is same to this one, domain, into elements and nodes, and elements are of arbitrary shape. Like this. Okay, I will choose other color. Here elements are of arbitrary shape. You can see here. These are the elements. Okay. In this way we are dividing that domain in the form of arbitrary shaped elements. Okay, and here connecting points are nodes. Okay, connecting points are nodes. Have you got it? Connecting points are nodes. Now here you see the first difference. In finite difference method, domain is divided into grid-like structure and connecting points are grid points. And in finite element method, domain is divided by the elements and connecting points are nodes. Now see here, you see this first difference. Okay, first difference, and you see this one. I will show here this point. this point. You can get this point. Here, when domain is divided into grid-like structure, it will not hold or it will not give the results acceptable for curved boundaries, these type of boundaries. Okay, we agree with this. Why? Because you can observe here, here this portion is not captured by your grid structure. This portion is not captured by the grid structure. Therefore, when this portion is not captured by the grid structure, then you will not get the acceptable result. This is giving the error. This is the error. Okay. This error you will get in your solution. Do you agree with this? And if you compare this structure and this structure, this is elements having any arbitrary shape. Now, if it has any arbitrary shape, then you can see the error. Margin of error in finite element method is very less as compared to the finite difference method. Okay. Now, with this first difference, I will stop here. Now time is over. Now, if you have doubt in any of the slide, you can ask me. I have covered up to here, up to first point. Okay. Remaining points I will cover at the time of next lecture. Okay. And I will conduct the test on Saturday. At the time of lecture or after the lecture. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. We will give 5 minutes for the discussion. Not 5, 2 minutes for the discussion. Yes. Any doubt?